Well, good evening and welcome back to another episode of Cozy Old School RuneScape Lore, the podcast where we explore the land of Gielinor and find out about the places, the people, the things written down on paper that we can to learn about the history and how this world works. In our last episode, we started a new subseries that I'm calling Unextreme Varlamore-Locked Chunk Ironlike. It's this adventure where we're region locked during these episodes to the Kingdom of Varlamore. We're starting out on the island of Aldarin, and we're chunk locked, so we're exploring this region one chunk at a time. In last episode, we finished all the chunk tasks in Mistrock Center, and then we unlocked Mistrock Cove. Now, there are a few tasks here that we need to complete before we can unlock another chunk. There are 5 skill tasks, and remember, one of the other constraints about this is that during these episodes, I'm not banking at all. In between episodes, I'll store what I had in the bank from the previous episode, and so where we're at is we have a bucket, a pot, a beer, a steam forge brew, an empty beer glass, a rope, some logs, an iron square shield, a hammer, 2 onions, an iron kite shield, and an iron bar. And I am on the same tile I was when we finished off our last episode. And so here are the tasks that we need to finish off this chunk. There are 3 skill tasks: 5 attack, wield a steel weapon; cook to cook meat, requiring 1 cooking, requiring 30 defense, wear adamant armor, and then we have 2 best in slot tasks: obtain an adamant kite shield, which would be our best in slot shield for melee, and obtain an adamant square shield, which would be our best in slot for ranged. So, let's get started. I think I don't know where we're going to get cooked meat for cooking, so I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that, but let's go over into Mistrock Cove. Yeah, why don't we start by just exploring Mistrock Cove itself, see what that's like over there. It is called Mistrock Cove. Alright. Now we're on our cove, and it's becoming clear how we're going to get the meat to cook. There are giant rats over here. So this is a pretty small chunk. It's just right beside the one we were at before. And there are squirrels, butterflies, more different types of trees, maple, regular. There are giant rats and small rats. There are a bunch of bones on the ground, dead trees, and the ground kind of curls up to the north down here a little bit. There's like a little bit of a curl of the ground. I just killed a rat to hopefully get a piece of meat, and we did get some raw rat meat. And finally, there's a little mesa that we can't climb on top of, and below this mesa there is a mine. Unfortunately, there are 2 workers who are just out of our chunk that we can't talk to. Maybe I can talk to them if they're in the other chunk, as long as I stay in this chunk, but they'd have to walk next to me for me to be able to talk to them. So let's try that. Oh, they keep walking away, so one walked into our chunk. There we go. I say, hello there. They say, I don't have time to talk to you. Let's talk to them one more time. Leave me alone, I have work to do. That's pretty clear. Let's examine them. It says a dwarven worker. Okay, so I actually can't walk on all of this chunk because some of it is only accessible by going up into the chunk to the north of us and then coming down, because if I walk as far east as I can, then it hits the ocean, and then the land curls above the ocean, the landmass I'm on, before it dips back down, for the rest of this kind of like peninsula in Mistrock Cove. So the ocean's blocking off me even being able to get to all of the land on this chunk. So we're pretty much already, we've pretty much already seen all the land in this chunk, but there are 4 new things I need to highlight that will help us finish things up here. There are coal rocks, there are 2 iron rocks, and there are gold rocks. Those are those 4 extra things that I just mentioned, and that's going to help us finish this chunk up. Alright, first of all, let's go get a chunk task knocked out right away. I gotta find, okay, I'm gonna go into this house, and there is the stove in here, and I can cook the rat meat on the stove. Let's cook that, and we have cooked meat. So that is a chunk task done. We cooked a cooked meat. Now, we also need to wield a steel weapon, wear adamant armor, get a kite shield, and a square shield in adamant. So I think what we're going to need to do is mine ore and sell ore to the ore shop in order to have the GP to buy all that's, to buy the kite shield and square shield from the shield shop that's here in Mistrock. So I need to go over to the building that has the iron ore in it, and then I need to either wait for it to respawn or hop worlds until I have enough iron ore to make a pickaxe, because even though there's a pickaxe shop here, I need to have a pickaxe to start, and I don't think there's any. So I think I have to buy the pickaxe to be able to start this little grind here. So I'm walking over onto this rooftop terrace, over into the room that has an iron bar spawn, and I will take that iron bar. I guess while I'm waiting for it to respawn, I'll go double check how many bars does it take to actually smith a pickaxe. So I'm going over to the kind of smithing building, and I'm going to use the anvil. And let's see, iron. I'm not seeing an iron pickaxe. I'm feeling very concerned. I thought you could make your own iron pickaxes. Surely you can make iron pickaxes. I'm looking it up. Okay, you learn something new every day. Players cannot smith an iron pickaxe. Okay, so the plot thickens. How am I going to get a pickaxe to mine the ore to make the money to sell to the shop, to sell the ore to the shop to make the money to buy what I need to buy? Alright, let's talk to Necto. Let's trade. Let me remind myself what Necto has. A bronze pickaxe costs 1 coin. A hammer will be bought for 0 coins. Can I sell the cooked meat to the bar? Yeah, we're once again in a bit of a puzzle because I don't know how I'm gonna either make money or get the items I need to start doing this stuff. So I'll trade the bartender. I cannot sell the meat to the shop. Can't sell the onions. Well, okay. Oh. Obviously, I'm supposed to sell the shields that I can smith myself to the shield shop. Okay, so now that we have the iron kite shield and iron square shield, let's sell them. The iron kite shield gives us 142 coins. The square shield gives us I'm not sure how many. I guess 100, because now we have 242. Okay. So now we can get some kind of pick with that money. Let's trade Necto again. We can get an iron pickaxe for 140 coins, so let's just do that. Let's get the best one we can for now. And let's wield that and just start mining. I'm not sure which ore will fetch the best price from the shop. Probably gold is what I'm guessing. So I'll start with the gold, and then when that runs out, then I'll start mining the other stuff. Okay, we got the gold. Now let's grab the coal. And then while those two rocks are respawning, let's grab both of the iron. We got one of the iron. And the other. Okay, this isn't efficient yet for me to run back with not a full inventory, but I am going to run back to that smithing shop where Necto is and just value these so I know how much Necto will buy each one for. Okay, gold ore, 105, coal, 31, iron, 11. Okay, let's sell the gold. I don't think there's a furnace here, so there's no reason for me to hold on to... There's no reason for me to hold on to any ore, so I'm going to sell all of them. Okay. So now I have 260 coins, and the steel pickaxe is 500, so that's our first goal. Get enough... Actually, I have 2 iron bars in my inventory. I should smith those into a square shield that I can sell to the shop. The shield shop, trade Icta, sell the square shield. Okay, so now I have 360 coins, and the steel pickaxe costs 500, so I'm also going to drop things that I just know I can pick up here. I know I can pick up a hammer. Where did I get the hammer? Okay, I got the hammer right there in Necto's shop, so I know I can pick up a hammer for free. I can pick up both the onions. The rope, I can't remember where I got, but I mean, I know everything I have here that I can acquire here, so unless it's like irreplaceable for some reason, I'm just going to drop them all. So I don't need the rope, the logs, the cooked meat, the bucket, the pot, the beer, or the Steamforge brew. So now we have none of the items that we had last episode. We just have coins and an iron pick. That's all we have to our name, and that makes sense because we need to clear out the inventory to start mining so we can make some money. Alright, I'm gonna get this gold again. I'm gonna do one more round that I just did. I'm gonna get the gold, the coal, and 2 irons, and then head back to the shop, and I'm hoping that'll be enough for us to buy the steel pick. And then I can start the grind in earnest, which I'll probably do mostly on my own. And I don't think there's going to be too much lore here for this chunk, because we basically already explored the whole chunk. We talked to one of the people we can talk to. Okay, we didn't talk to the other one, so let's do that. The other person says, I don't have time to talk to you. So they basically say the same thing. Talk to them one more time. I don't have time to talk to you. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a briefer episode because I'm probably just going to cut when I start this mining grind and get back with you once that's done, and that'll probably get us to most of the chunk tasks, I'm hoping. Okay, so first let's trade with Necto. Yeah, gold ore is 102 coins. Coal is like 25, I think. And then there's the iron and the iron. And now we can buy a steel pickaxe. Equip that. That will make a big difference. Oops, trade with Necto. How much is he going to buy the old iron one for? 98 coins, great. Alright, so now our items are as follows. We have a steel pickaxe, and we have 111 coins. And that's it. And from here, I'm going to mine as much gold ore as I can. While I'm waiting for gold ore, I'll mine the other ones. I think that'll probably be a little bit more efficient than just like waiting for a full inventory of gold ore, especially since the shop is so close. So anyway, I'll figure out what kind of inventory feels optimal, and I'll just make as much money as I can because, oh, I should have checked before I cut. I should go to ICTA and double check what the prices are of the things we're trying to get. So ICTA has Adamant Kite Shield, 5,440 coins, and Adamant Square Shield, 3,840. So that's like 9k, basically. So that's how much money I need to be able to buy those two items. And then I have no idea what we're going to do for adamant armor. No idea how I'm going to get adamant armor to wear. That one's a little bit of a puzzle for me. But I think unless shields count as adamant armor. Yes, okay, so that will fall under the same thing as just having the best in slot shield tasks. Once we obtain the shields, basically all we have to do is equip them to also fulfill the skill task of 30 defense, wear adamant armor. Great. Okay, and one last note for now. I did equip the steel pickaxe, and so that takes care of one of our skill tasks, 5 attack, wield a steel weapon. So all we have to do to finish off this chunk is make that 9k from mining to be able to get the adamant kite shield and the adamant square shield. And I'll let you know when I've got those things. Okay, so we have reached a milestone. We have 4,071 GP, which means we can trade ICTA and get an adamant square shield. And that is, I'm wielding it now, and that is one of our chunk tasks done. And actually 2 of our chunk tasks, because that's the ranged best in slot, obtain an adamant square shield, and wear adamant armor. So the only one left is to get an adamant kite shield. Again, that is 5,440 GP from the shop, so just got to do what we just did and a little bit more one more time. So a couple notes about what I was up to in the meantime. While I was mining, I did get an uncut emerald, and so I'm going to hold that in my inventory for now because who knows when I might need an uncut emerald. I also got a clue scroll, an easy clue scroll, so let's look at that. It says, search the crate in Romix crafting shop in Rimington, and Romix is missing an apostrophe. So I can't do that because this is a Varlamore-Locked series. During this series, if I get a clue scroll that says to do something somewhere else in the game, I just have to drop that. So I'm dropping that easy clue scroll, but I'm holding on to the uncut emerald because I got that while I was mining, and you never know when you might need an uncut emerald. If I find out that, there's an easy way to acquire them in one of the chunks I'm going to get soon or something like that, I might get rid of it, but for now I'm going to hold on to it. Okay, the other note about what I was up to is that I did try to make money by smithing shields instead of by mining ore, and it was really annoying. I had to go upstairs to the rooftop terrace, and I had to world hop and pick up 1 iron bar from every world, and so basically the number of times I world hopped, it would only give me half that number in iron shields because it takes 2 bars per shield, and the value that works out to is 50 GP per iron bar or 50 GP per world hop, and the world hops take so long. I was like, I don't want to do this. I would much rather just sit and mine ore and then run the ore over one inventory at a time, and probably world hop for each inventory in case the shop is overstocked. So that's how I made it to that much GP, to 4k, and now we got to make it to 5.5k, and then that'll be the end. Once we get the mithril kite shield, that'll be the end of our tasks in this chunk. I did notice one thing that I was curious about. There's no skilling tasks for wood cutting here. There's maple trees, there's yew trees, and I can make my own I can make my own iron axe. So I wonder why there aren't any chunk tasks related to chopping wood. But anyway, I could easily chop them if I had an iron axe, so I'm not going to worry too much about it because the chunk tasks on the map don't make a point of it, but I just figured I'd mention it, that it's kind of a funny thing. Okay, so I'm going to go back to mining, and I'll let you know when I have 5.5k, and we can buy the adamant kite shield and finish off this chunk. Okay, something interesting here. I'm about to hit a mining level. I think. I'm mining some coal. It's taking a while to mine the coal. Okay, there we go. And I got 74 mining. Obviously, I did not start my mining levels off from level 1 in starting this series, but it's still nice to get a mining level during the series. While I continue to mine here a little bit, I'm going to offer some thoughts on how I might have done this had I not had the mining levels needed initially. Because obviously for me it was easy to come over here and just start mining, and then I realized these are coal rocks, iron rocks, gold rocks. None of them you can mine right at the start of the game, so how would you make the money to get the adamant shields if you were just starting from level 1, well, overall level 3 in this game? So I don't think you could do any mining here at all, and I think you would need to make money by world hopping, picking up iron bars, and then turning them into shields. I think that would be the way you'd have to make the money to get the adamant shields for these chunk tasks. But me, I'm just mining away. I'm about to take another inventory over, and I'll bring you with me this time. Just grabbing a gold ore. It's taken a while. Taken quite a while. I mine pretty slow with a steel pickaxe. And now grabbing one more coal ore before I run over. Yeah, trying to get this coal. Doing my darndest, and there it is. Okay, now I got to run over back to the shop. The smithing shop. I got a world hop to make sure the shop doesn't have any stock, because then that would decrease the value of what I'm selling. And I don't feel like world hopping every time I sell stuff, so I'm just going to sell everything I've got. So I'm going to sell all my gold, all my iron, all my coal, and I got 3,662 gold. So I got less than 2,000 GP to get before I can buy the adamant kite shield, and I'll get back with you soon. Okay, I think this is my last trip to the shop. I'm gonna trade the shop and sell 6 iron ore and 12 coal. Okay. And 8 gold ore. And I think I have enough now for the adamant kite shield. Okay. I have 5,771 GP, and it costs 54.40. So let me buy that. Equip it. And that is, I believe, the final chunk task done. Yes, it is done. So we have finished off this chunk. Let's go back really quickly into it, just to make sure we didn't miss anything important. lore-wise or exploration-wise. And then what I want to do before we roll a new chunk, now that all of the Mistrock area is done, is I want to go to the wiki page on Mistrock and read about it. What was this place we just finished? It's a dwarven settlement on the island of Aldarin, located in the region of Varlamore. Mistrock used to belong to Moonrise Brewery and Winery, which we haven't visited yet in this series, but it was given to the Cantorum dwarves who moved there after humans had one of your wars. As the land was not well suitable for growing grapes and it presented a new business opportunity. As a result, the settlement provides the winery with metals and ores at a reduced rate. To the east there is a small net fishing spot. Fishing at it between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. UTC will give the player one of the 4 nasty tokens. Oh, okay, so that's what Nasty Nick was telling us about in the last episode. Okay, there's the inn, the mining supplies, the shield shop, and the bank. And the bank has a deposit box outside. Well, that's pretty much everything here. Let's read about the inn really quick. Anything unique? Okay, the Steamforge brews and sunshine in the bar apparently can't be found on the mainland. Interesting. Okay, last time I made a little bit of a point about the name of the bar, but apparently the name of the bar, Stick Your Ore In, O-R-E, as in like mining ore. Apparently the name of the bar is a reference to the phrase stick your oar in, O-A-R, as in like a boat oar, which means soliciting unwanted advice or opinions. Okay, got it. And the mining shop, nothing unique there. The shield shop, let's see on the wiki. Apparently the adamant kite shield stocked here is not stocked anywhere else. Very interesting. So it's kind of a unique place in that sense. And the bank is just a bank. So that's pretty much it for Mistrock. Now we get to look back on the map, and we've identified the 2 chunks that we can roll. Aldarin, which is one of the chunks is Moonrise Alchemical Headquarters, and one of the chunks is Villa Lucens. So we'll roll 2. It's just going to show us both of those chunks. I think I'm going to do Villa Lucens first. Let's unlock that one. That gets us access to 1 new chunk task here. It's only one thieving required, pickpocket a citizen. So we're going to wrap that up really quick in this episode. And probably, let me think for a second about whether we're going to take the time to explore that chunk in this episode or not. Okay, first I need to mark it as an unlocked chunk for me. There we go, and now we can start to explore it. There's the worker we saw before. There's a bunch of extra rocks in the mine. Now we can go to the very end of the piece of land on this chunk that we were on before. There's 2 extra giant rats and some more small rats here. And we can walk around, I think, on the north side of this mesa, just north of the mine. Nope, can't walk all the way around it. Just a little bit around the top. There's a rock slide to the north, and if I examine it, it says a deposit of rocks. I don't think I can climb it. Okay, there's a citizen here. Let's pickpocket them to complete that chunk task. And I pick their pocket, and if I open the coin pouch, I got 3 coins from that. Alright. There is a bird here. It's like blue, and it says a brightly colored bird. It flies very quickly. There's a squirrel here. There's another citizen. Then I come up on these steps that go up to the villa. And I think this might be where I would start the Death on the Isle quest, had I not done it already, but I have. So there's a guard at the top of the steps by the entrance to the villa, and it says passage by invitation only, if I examine the guard. Okay. I don't know if I can actually get in there because I'm not wearing the... Oh, I can. Okay. Let's save that for next time. Next time we will explore the villa. I've already done it in the quest, but we'll explore it for the first time in this series. We'll look at the theater behind the villa, and and talking to everyone in here. And if that doesn't get us to enough time, we might unlock the kind of downtown Aldarin chunk. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. Here's what we've got right now on us. We've got a steel pickaxe, an adamant kite shield, adamant square shield, uncut emerald, and 334 coins. These are the valuables we've been able to acquire this far along in our journey. And then there's also some additional just drops and spawns and things that we know we can get anytime, like bones, raw rat meat, a hammer, an iron bar, an onion, an empty pot, an empty bucket, beer, steam forge brew, things like that. We can also buy other food from the bar, so we have access to kind of a nice mix of things. Alright. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Cozy Old School RuneScape Lore. Today we finished off the Mistrock area, mined a bunch, got some adamant armor to finish off all our chunk tasks in the Mistrock Cove chunk, and we just unlocked the Villa Lucens chunk. Didn't fully explore it yet, but we're going to start that out next time by going through there, talking to people, looking at the villa, looking at the theater, and then if we still have time, we'll check out downtown Aldarin, because we already finished the pickpocket a citizen chunk task for our new chunk that we just got, the Villa Lucens one. So that's going to do it for today's episode. I want to say thank you so much for joining me for this episode in our adventure in the Unextreme Varlamore-Locked chunk Ironlike subseries. I hope you have such a good evening and that you sleep so well. And I'm going to say good night and goodbye for now.